Welcome back to LearnEng, your cozy little corner of the internet where we learn real English together, one easy conversation at a time. I'm David, and today's episode is a little different. Today we're not just learning English. Today we're learning English through an idea, a big idea, one that I think a lot of you need to hear right now. It's never too late. 3 small words, but they carry something enormous inside them. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to try again. It's never too late to change direction. It's never too late to become the person you always thought you could be. Now, before we go any further, let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever said this to yourself? I'll start when I have more time. I'm too old for this now. I missed my chance. It's too late for me. Because I have, more times than I'd like to admit. I remember sitting at my desk about 8 years ago. I was in a job that paid well but felt completely empty. And I had this idea, this quiet, persistent idea, that I wanted to do something different, something that felt meaningful, something I could look back on and feel proud of. But every time that idea came up, I pushed it back down because I was already in my late 30s, because I had responsibilities, because I told myself, David, that ship has sailed. You're too late. That's for younger people. You should have figured this out 10 years ago. And I believed that story for a long time. Until one day, I didn't. And today I want to talk about that. About the stories we tell ourselves about time and age and missed chances. About what it really means to start over or start fresh or simply start. And we're going to do all of that in English, with real natural vocabulary, real expressions, real phrases that you can use in your own life and conversations. Because here's something I truly believe. Learning English itself is proof that it's never too late. Every single person listening to LearnEng right now is proof of that. You're here, you're learning, you didn't give up on yourself. That matters. And at the end, our word tour. Our slow vocabulary walk through today's most powerful words and phrases so they stay with you long after this episode ends. This is a B1 level episode, perfect if you're intermediate. If you're A2, stay with me, you'll catch more than you think, and the second listen always feels easier, always. Before we start, if LearnEng is helping you grow, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel. Every like, every subscribe, every share helps more learners find us here at LearnEng, and I love reading every single comment you leave, so come say hello after you listen. Okay, let's talk about time, and starting, and the lie we tell ourselves that it's too late. Let me start with a question. When did you first think about learning English? Really think about it, not just the idea floating around in the background, but actually deciding, I want to do this. Maybe you were a teenager, maybe you were in your 20s, maybe it was last year, maybe it was last week. And between that first thought and right now, what happened? For a lot of people, the answer is life happened, work happened, family happened, fear happened, that little voice happened, the one that says, who do you think you are? The one that says, it's too late, the one that says, people like you don't do things like this. That voice, I know it very well. And here's what I've learned about that voice after many years of listening to it, and then slowly, very slowly, learning not to. That voice is not telling you the truth. That voice is telling you a story, and stories can be changed. Let me tell you about a man named Forja Singh. He took up marathon running at the age of 89 years old. He ran his first marathon at 89, and he kept running. He completed his last marathon at 101 years old. 101. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to run a marathon at 100. That's not the point. The point is, he didn't look at his age and decide the chapter was closed. He looked at his age and decided there was still a page to turn. And that's what it's never too late really means. Not that age doesn't matter, not that time doesn't pass, but that the next page, your next page, is still blank, still yours to write. Now let's bring this into everyday English, because this topic comes up in real conversations all the time, and knowing how to talk about it how to express these ideas naturally is genuinely useful. Here are some natural ways people talk about starting something new later in life. I decided to make a change, better late than never. I know I'm starting later than most, but I'm starting. I wish I'd done this sooner, but I'm doing it now, and that's what counts. It took me a long time to get here, but I got here. I'm a late starter, but I think that's okay. I started over at 40, and it was the best decision I ever made. It's never too late to begin again. Better late than never, this is a classic English expression. It means doing something late is still better than not doing it at all. I finally called my old friend after years of meaning to. Better late than never. I started exercising at 50. Better late than never. Begin again, these two words together carry so much. Not just start, but begin again, which means you had a life before this moment, you have experience, you have history, and now you're choosing to add a new chapter. Let's talk about fear, because fear is usually the real reason people tell themselves it's too late. Age is often just the excuse. Fear is the actual barrier. Fear of failure, fear of looking foolish, fear of starting something and not finishing, fear of what people will think, fear of investing time and energy into something that might not work out. These fears are real. I'm not going to tell you they aren't, but let's look at them honestly. Fear of failure. Here's the truth about failure. Failure is not the end of the story. Failure is just information. It tells you this approach didn't work, try a different one. Every person who ever built something meaningful failed many times on the way there. Failure is not your enemy. Staying stuck because of the fear of failure, that's your enemy. Fear of looking foolish. Here's what I know after years of working with adult learners. The people who make the most progress are not the ones who are too proud to look foolish. They're the ones who are willing to get it wrong, willing to mispronounce, willing to use the wrong word, willing to try and fail and try again. Looking foolish for a moment is a very small price for something that lasts a lifetime. Fear of what people will think. People are thinking about themselves. I promise you that. The person you're afraid of judging you is worried about their own fears, their own insecurities, their own story. Nobody is watching as closely as you think. And the people who truly matter, the ones who love you and want good things for you, they will only ever be proud. Here are some natural English phrases for talking about fear and courage. I was terrified to start, but I did it anyway. The fear was real, but I decided not to let it win. I felt completely out of my comfort zone at first. I had to push through a lot of self-doubt. It took courage to begin. I won't pretend it didn't. I was scared of failing, so I almost didn't try. But almost is a dangerous word. That last one, almost, is a dangerous word, because almost tried, almost started, almost took the chance. These are the ones that stay with you. The attempts that didn't work out, those you can make peace with. But the things you almost did, those are harder to let go of. Don't let your life be full of almosts. Now let's talk about something really important, the difference between starting over and starting fresh. Starting over sounds heavy. It sounds like everything before this moment was a mistake, like you went the wrong direction and now you have to go all the way back to the beginning. But starting fresh, that sounds different. Starting fresh means you bring everything you've learned, everything you've lived, everything you've experienced, and you use all of it as you move into something new. You don't throw away your history, you build on it. This is especially true for adult learners. When you learn English as an adult, you bring so much with you. You bring life experience. You bring emotional intelligence. You bring the ability to understand context and nuance and meaning in ways that children simply can't yet. You bring motivation, real, personal, meaningful motivation, not just because a teacher told you to. Adult learners are not disadvantaged. They are different, and different doesn't mean worse. Different often means better in ways that take time to see. Here are some natural ways to express this idea in English. I'm bringing everything I've learned to this new chapter. My experience is an asset, not a setback. Starting fresh doesn't mean starting from zero. Late starts often lead to the strongest finishes. I know what I want now in a way I didn't when I was younger. I'm more focused now than I ever was at 20. I have a reason to do this, a real one, and that makes all the difference. Let me tell you about something called the compound effect. It's a simple idea, but a powerful one. Small, consistent actions done over time produce enormous results. Not big dramatic gestures, not overnight transformations, just small, regular, consistent steps every single day. If you learn 10 new English words today, that's 10 words. Not impressive, but if you learn 10 new words every day for a year, that's 3,650 words. That's fluency, that's transformation, built one small day at a time. The same is true for anything. Exercise, a business, a skill, a relationship, a new career. Everything meaningful is built through small, consistent steps taken over time, not through one big moment of inspiration. And here's the beautiful part. You can start that process at any age, at any point. The compound effect doesn't check your birth certificate, it just responds to consistency. Here are some natural English phrases about small steps and consistency. I'm taking it one day at a time. Every small step counts. Slow progress is still progress. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm further than I was. Consistency is more important than speed. I'm playing the long game. Little by little, that's how I get there. Playing the long game, this is a really natural expression. It means you're thinking about the long-term result, not the immediate reward. You're patient, you're consistent, you're not looking for shortcuts. I'm not expecting results overnight. I'm playing the long game. Smart people play the long game. Little by little, a beautiful simple phrase, small amounts, gradually, not all at once. Little by little my English is improving. Little by little I'm building something I'm proud of. Now let's talk about regret, because this topic always brings up regret, and regret is complicated. There are two kinds of regret. The regret of things you did that didn't work out, and the regret of things you didn't do at all. Research consistently shows that people feel the second kind of regret more deeply and for longer. The things they didn't try, the paths they didn't take, the words they didn't say, the chances they didn't take. So if you're sitting with a dream right now, a language you want to speak, a skill you want to build, a change you want to make, I want to ask you honestly. What is the cost of not trying? Not the cost of failing, the cost of not trying at all. Because that cost is paid slowly and quietly, in the small moments where you think, I wonder what would have happened if I'd started. In the conversations you can't join because you didn't build the language. In the opportunities that pass because you were waiting for the perfect moment that never came. The perfect moment is a myth. There is only this moment, and this one, and this one. Here are some natural English expressions about regret and taking chances. I don't want to look back and wonder what if. I'd rather try and fail than never try at all. Regret is heavier than failure. I'm not willing to look back and say I never even tried. I don't want to spend the rest of my life wondering. Taking a chance feels scary, but not taking it feels worse. Regret is heavier than failure. I want you to remember that one. Write it down if you can, because it's true. The failure hurts for a while, and then you learn from it and move forward. The regret, the what if, that can stay with you for a very long time. Before word tour, your mission for today. Think about one thing you've been telling yourself it's too late for, just one. Maybe it's your English, maybe it's a career change, maybe it's a skill, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a dream you put in a drawer a long time ago. Write it down, and then write this sentence underneath it in English. It is not too late. I am starting now. Keep it in your notebook, say it out loud, post it in the comments if you want to share it. I would genuinely love to read it, and I believe it. Whatever you wrote, I believe it for you. All right, time for word tour, our slow vocabulary walk through today's most powerful words and phrases here on LearnEng. Take your time. Repeat after me out loud if you can. First phrase, better late than never. This means doing something late is still better than not doing it at all. I finally started exercising at 50, better late than never. I called my old friend after years of silence, better late than never, better late than never, better late than never. Next phrase, begin again. To begin again means to start something fresh, bringing your experience with you. It's not going back to zero. It's starting a new chapter with everything you've already learned. It's never too late to begin again. She began again at 45 and built something extraordinary. Begin again, begin again. Next phrase, out of my comfort zone. Your comfort zone is the familiar safe space where things feel easy and known. Out of your comfort zone means doing something new and uncomfortable and a little scary. Starting something new always feels out of your comfort zone at first. I had to push myself out of my comfort zone, but it was worth it. Out of my comfort zone, out of my comfort zone. Next phrase, self-doubt. Self-doubt is when you don't believe in yourself, when you question your own ability and worth. Almost everyone who starts something new deals with self-doubt. The key is not to let self-doubt make your decisions. I had to push through a lot of self-doubt to get here. Self-doubt, self-doubt. Next phrase, playing the long game. This means focusing on long-term results rather than immediate rewards, being patient and consistent rather than looking for shortcuts. I'm not expecting results overnight. I'm playing the long game. Smart, consistent people play the long game, playing the long game, playing the long game. Next phrase, little by little. This means gradually, in small amounts, slowly but consistently. Little by little, my English is getting stronger. Little by little, I'm becoming who I want to be. Little by little, little by little. Next phrase, compound effect. The compound effect means small, consistent actions that build up over time into something enormous. 10 words a day becomes 3,600 words a year. That's the compound effect. Trust the compound effect. Compound effect. Compound effect. Next phrase, take the chance. To take the chance means to do something despite uncertainty or fear, to move forward even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. I decided to take the chance and I haven't looked back. She took the chance on something new and it changed everything. Take the chance, take the chance. Next word, persistence. Persistence means continuing to try even when things are difficult or slow or discouraging, not giving up, keeping going. Persistence is more valuable than talent. With persistence, almost anything is possible over time. Persistence, persistence. Last phrase, what if? What if is the question of regret. The question you ask yourself about the paths you didn't take, the chances you didn't take. I don't want to spend my life asking what if. Don't let what if be the story of your life. What if? What if? Those are your 10 phrases for today here on LearnEng. Better late than never. Begin again. Out of my comfort zone. Self-doubt. Playing the long game. Little by little. Compound effect. Take the chance. Persistence. What if? Pick 2. Write them in your own sentence. Say them out loud. That's how they become yours. And here we are, at the end of another LearnEng episode together. I want to leave you with something before we go. You pressed play today. Maybe you almost didn't. Maybe you were tired or busy, or that quiet voice was telling you, what's the point? But you pressed play anyway. That is not nothing, that is everything. Because every time you choose to show up for your English, for your growth, for yourself, you're proving that voice wrong. You're writing a different story, a better one. It doesn't matter when you started. It doesn't matter how many times you stopped and started again. It doesn't matter how long the road still looks ahead of you. What matters is that you're walking it right now, today. And I am genuinely proud of you for that. Your mission, write that one thing you've been telling yourself it's too late for, and right underneath it, it is not too late. I am starting now. Post it in the comments if you want. I will read every single one. And tell me, where are you listening from right now? What time of day is it for you? I love picturing every corner of the world where our LearnEng community is sitting right now. If today's episode moved you or helped you in any way, please like this video, subscribe to LearnEng, and share it with one person who needs to hear that it's never too late. Because someone in your life needs this today. I'm sure of it. I'm David. This has been LearnEng, your cozy place to learn real English one conversation at a time. And I'll see you in the next episode. Keep going, keep building, keep believing. It's never too late, and you are proof of that. Bye for now.